Rosh Hashanah is almost upon us, and I hope you're a little afraid. Why? It's a day of judgment. It's a day where God looks down upon all of humanity, all 7 billion people in the world, and determines, will each one of us have a year of life or death? Will each one of us have a year that is filled with prosperity and joyfulness and health? Or will we have poverty, sickness, and anxiety? How do you come out on top? The good news is that our judge is called in the Torah Avinu Av HaRachaman. He's called our Father, our merciful Father. In the same way that a parent loves a child, the Almighty loves us even more and is rooting for us to have a favorable judgment. The question is, how do we come out on top? What do we need to know in order to have a favorable judgment? So the first thing is to know that, God does judge us measure for measure. How I treat God's children, that's how He treats me. If I want God to be generous and kind and forgiving with me, then I should look around the Almighty's children and I should be generous, kind, and forgiving to them. The next thing is God is looking at us not only in terms of what we do, but what we could do. Now the truth is, all of us know that we could do more. We all know we could do better. So we have to strengthen our motivation to do our best. The same way that a loving parent just wants their children to do their best, God wants us to do our best. Fantastic story told of a great rabbi called the Netziv. He lived a couple hundred years ago, and when he was later on in life, he threw a big party, and he told the following story. He told that a little after his bar mitzvah, he was still 13 years old, his father was going to take him out to the marketplace, take him out of school, and say, listen, it's time you should learn to become a tailor, a cobbler, one of these craftsmen. And the young boy turned to his father and said, Dad, I want to stay and study Torah. The father said, you're not applying yourself. The young boy promised, I want to apply myself. And then he got up and he said, you know what? If I became a tailor, my life would have been good. Would have gotten married, supported my family, been a contributive member to society. But at the end of my life, God would have stopped and said, wait a second. Where are all your students that you could have had? You could have become a great rabbi. Where are all those books you could have written? You could have done a lot with your time, even more so than being a tailor. We have to ask ourselves, what is our mission in life? God wants us to do something important. It's probably more important than we are doing right now. And if we can strengthen ourselves and excite ourselves, motivate ourselves to ask, what more can I do for the Almighty? Then we will surely end up on top when it comes to judgment. There's one last point we need to know. Story told in the Torah of Elisha the prophet. He was traveling around, and sometimes he would come to a particular town. There was a lady who would always bring him dinner. And then she said, well, Elisha, where are you staying? You didn't have a hotel to stay at. So she convinced her husband to build an extra room just for the prophet. And then every time the prophet would come to that town, this family would take care of him. Finally, one day, Elisha says, hey, what can I do for you? Her response was, oh, prophet, just have us dwell amongst our people. In other words, all she wanted was to be judged amongst the Jewish people. She understood the secret. She understood that individually, we all have failings. But together, we are all very strong and meritorious. She understood, just look at me as part of the Jewish people, and then I will receive the blessings as part of the Jewish people. So Rosh Hashanah is a time where all the Jews are in shul. 5 minutes of synagogue is better than no minutes of synagogue. If you want a favorable judgment, make sure you're part of the Jewish people. Make sure you are reaching for your potential, and make sure that you are treating the Almighty's children in the way you wish to be treated. I'm Rabbi Yitz Wyne of the Young Israel Aish of Las Vegas, wishing you a happy, sweet New Year.